everybody, and welcome to Betweenplays Stock Market Strategies. We have once again with us the Bid Alain Belin from Bid Capital and Fine Wines. How you doing, man?
Good morning, Albert. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, actually. Paying a lot of attention to what's happening in Ukraine, and naturally, it's part of the macroeconomics of things, right? And also, we don't want war and stuff like that. So I've been very focused on that and OPEC plus and oil outputs and geopolitical stuff and everything like that. But hey, it's just been in my head, maybe because I have two very small little kids. I don't know, but it's been preoccupying me a lot.
It is. It is. I
Yeah,
totally agree with you.
poor people in Ukraine, that's for sure. Well, anyone that's in war, anyways, freaking horrible
Yeah.
atrocities.
Well, it's the whole world, right? With this, what's going on in Ukraine, we get all the effects. You see it in capital markets. You see in the price of gold, oil, commodities, inflation, and everything. So it hits not only Ukraine, yes, the people that are in there, but it hits the whole world, and from the east to the west, and that's what's being scary right now.
Yeah, and it's if conspiracy theorists or not or whatever, however the world may work and stuff like that. You got to almost look at it. The timing of ushering this new digital era in, and the one world order, and all these things, and then you look at there's COVID that happens in 2020, but we'll use COVID as oh, don't let an atrocity go to waste. Use it to jumpstart a whole new era, and now all the stuff that's going on, you got to ask yourself questions. That's just the way it is. It's the way it's. But we were talking about warrants at one point, and we had some questions from some viewers on specifically on warrants, and more so on Brunswick, because we had touched up on the fact that before September 30th, Brunswick had warrants that were due to expire by, I think, September 30th. I'm not too sure. Dates better than me on that one.
Yeah, yeah,
And but you'll get into it. But
yeah.
they just
Well,
don't understand how the warrants work. Like,
okay. Well, yeah. Warrants. What happened is usually when a company does a private placement, they give an option to shareholders that put money into the company that they could, at a certain time, it could be 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, depending of the time they decided the company, to give the advantage that the shareholders that gave money back then was at 13 cents. They got a half a warrant at 20 cents. So they had the possibility to buy back shares at 20 cents. So that's another way a company gets funding, because if the shareholders exercise their warrants, and I see on the news release that 5.6 million warrants were exercised, which gave them $1,150,000 in the treasury. And that's extra money that goes in the treasury of the company, because the shareholders decided that they want to take that option, or that the option of exercising the warrants, because they were in the money. So if you look at it, the stock was at like when they did a private placement a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, it was at 13 cents with a warrant at 20, half a warrant at 20. So every share you had half a warrant that gives you the possibility to give you another share of the company. So when the stock started moving up and it went into the 40s, that's why we were saying that the company, I was predicting that people were selling their warrants or selling their shares to buy back their warrants, because the price was 20 cents. So from 44 to 30 cents, whatever price you sold it at, that's profit from the 20 cents you could buy back your shares. So most people either will, especially now in these crises where the market is bad, not a lot of money out there, that's very good for a company. So they put $1,150,000 in the treasury without paying a commission, because it's the shareholders that have decided to exercise the warrants that they got on the private placement they had a year and a half or 2 years ago.
So
So that's why I said that there was until the 30th of September, we'd have pressure on the stock just to see that the warrants are getting exercised. So the people are selling into the market, especially now that the markets are all down. The juniors are it's very hard to invest in juniors. While the people from 13 cents, whatever shares they sold, then you could buy it back at 20. So if you look at it 13 plus half a warrant at 20, well, you could sell it at, you'd have to say at 23, 25 cents and higher, and you're still making money with you're starting back with new shares that are somewhat free for you because you've made your money in the market, you know?
So from a retail investor's perspective, I mean, naturally, let's say the retail investor that doesn't understand how warrants work, okay? And let's just say the retail investor is at, I don't know, he goes and invests here at the top, okay? Let's say when it was 44 cents. I know it says
Yeah.
42 here, but we had hit a high of 44.
Yeah.
So, but just so that the viewers watching this don't get confused, we'll use the 42 that's up on the screen. All right. So let's say someone gets in at the top here at 42. Okay. And they don't understand warrants. They see warrants are being exercised and they don't understand warrants. Now, from an experienced retail investor, if they were to get in at the 42, like that would be at the top, because now warrants are going to be exercised. There might be pressure of the stock to go back down because a company is also going to make money by getting these warrants exercised.
Well, the money, the company gets money, exactly. So the checks that are coming into the company, it's all more money to spend on the project. So that's, it's phenomenal for the company.
Yeah.
But the someone that invested at maybe 42 cents, maybe was speculation, the stock was moving, and like we said, didn't do his full due diligence. He didn't know there was warrants coming due, and he got caught on the trade. And now he's hoping like now the stock has retraced from 44 to 29.30. Today's sitting around 32, 34.
34 right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, he's lost a bit of money on the short term,
Yes.
but and it's due probably on like geopolitics. It's due on the capital markets throughout the world. It's due on people are waiting for more results to come from the company. So I think on the long term, if everything goes well with this company, well, it's going to go higher. It could go higher than 42 cents. He's going to be back in the money. But right now, he's losing. Yeah, he's losing from either 42, 44. Like we say, we never catch the high, we never catch the low, but you always have to look at like not as a short term. You should got to look at medium, long term.
Absolutely. And the thing is that naturally we're only explaining warrants here. And the question that came from us was on the Telegram. All right. After we did the show, and in the Telegram that Betweenplays owns, the question came exactly on because we did it on Brunswick. So the question, that's why we were looking at Brunswick as the explanation, because it was asked on Brunswick and naturally on how warrants work in general. So the thing is that naturally a person that is holding the bag right now for very short term, the possibility naturally of Brunswick, 125, I think, different pegmatites, if I go off of memory. We hit some spodumene there. We're looking at probably another PMET situation here, Patriot batteries, and the stock can be going, $1, $2, $3 type scenario, right?
Well,
so
we never know. Yeah, exactly. We never know. I know that they've after that the September 30th, they came out with a news also about a new project in Ontario. So they're growing. What I'm hearing is that had to sit down with Killian for about 10, 15 minutes, and they're looking at everything they could in the pegmatite. It could be Canada. Now they're looking more Canada. It could be North America. It could be anywhere in the world with their system, what they're looking at. They see they're not going to go with something that is, they'll see pegmatite and it's too deep into the ground. If they're looking at pegmatite, it's more like surface that they could see that it could be worth it for the company to acquire.
Yes.
And so that's adding another $1,150,000 in the treasury. I think Brunswick right now, they must have over $4 million in the treasury, if it's not more. So they have a lot of money. They have a good war chest to go after doing their work. And like we said, it didn't cost them additional money on fees, because usually there's a fee attached to any private placement or anything. So if you're saving 6 to 8% on commission, while 6 to 8% usually goes to brokers or investment bankers or whatever, well, the company gets that straight in their pocket. So it helps.
So warrants is a good tool. Warrants basically
it's a very good tool for
any company to use.
Yeah, it's a good tool for one, for the company, two, for investors, to entice them to invest in the company, especially when companies, in these markets, not easy to get money in the treasury because of all these capital markets, the way they're down. So having putting in a warrant gives makes the individual that's investing in the company feel good that they might have the possibility to get another share at a deemed price already. Like I said, a year, 18 months, 2 years before. So we were talking, when they did this, was maybe 24 months ago. They said, we'll give you a possibility to buy back shares at 20 cents, half of the shares you already invest in the private placement. So, gives individuals say, hey, if this goes like PMET, when they had 2-year warrants with 16 cents and they had warrants at 25 cents. Right now, someone's exercised at 25 cents and they're at 625, 650. So they're making $6 a share. So
let's say in this example for Brunswick, just to answer that person's question. So let's say they get the warrant, they're at 13 cents. They get to exercise them at 20 cents. The stock is at 40 cents. Well, let's just do a general example. Let's use 10, 20, and 40. Okay. So let's say they're at 10 cents. They get to exercise it at 20 cents.
Yeah.
And the stock is at 40 cents.
Yeah.
Do they make the difference between the 10 and the 20, or the 10 and the 40?
No, they make the difference from the 10 of their shares they did in the private places, still, if they still own them. And when they exercise, well, they make the difference from the price the price they rebuy from 20 cents to the price they sell. So there's 2 ways you make money. On your share price was 13 cents to, if you kept them and whatever price you sold them at. And then you rebuy them at 20 cents. So then it starts like you've made money. You start your investment.
You're restarting at 20 cents now.
Yeah, you're restarting at 20 cents to whatever price you're selling them at.
So it's almost like double dipping.
Yeah, it is a double dipping. Yeah. And that's why
I thought we weren't allowed to double dip.
No, usually you're not supposed to, but in this
no, I'm not talking about Brunswick. I'm just making a joke in general.
Yeah, no, I know you're making a joke. Usually double dipping in my house over here. Good. Double dipping is not good, but when you're on the right side of the
especially if you have COVID,
you're happy. Yeah, you're happy. You're happy if you're double dipping on the right side of the tree.
Hey, I'm happy if I'm double dipping.
Yeah, exactly.
anyway, whatever. Anyways, the point is this. So they go from 10 to whatever the stock. Let's say let's say it's 13 cents, okay? Because we stuck to the original price. So if it's 13 cents and it goes up to 40 cents, if they sell it at 40 cents, they make all of that.
Yeah.
And then they get back their stock at 20 cents.
They exercise it. So let's say they had 100,000 shares. Okay, let's say as an example, 100,000 shares. They sold their 100,000. Now they could buy back 50,000 because it was a half a warrant. So they have the possibility to exercise half, 50,000 shares at 20 cents. So if you bought, 100,000 is $13,000. You sold for $40,000. Now you buy back for 20 cents times 50,000 is $10,000. So if you put 13, you sold at 40. That's an example. So you made 13 to 40 and then 27 cents. So it's $27,000. You put back $10,000 and then you could sell it back today at 33 cents.
Yes.
So you made another 13. So you made 27 plus 13. So like you made 27 plus 50,000 at, so you made another 6,005. So your original investment, 13,000, gave you a profit of about $34,000.
So basically, your 20 cents becomes your new baseline, your new
Yeah.
base support, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of being at 13,
Either your new base support, yes, or it shows you that those shares for you are free in a sense, because if you made from $10,000, you sold for $40,000, and then you put back 10,000, so your whole cost is $23,000, and you've cashed in 40,000, so you're still making. You
Yeah.
have 50,000 shares left for free, plus you make money. So it depends the way you look at it, but that's the way I would look at it.
Absolutely. For the company, this is a very good strategy. So, because when you're saying we're talking about the company. So the company has a very good strategy in place in order to make money, get back in
For the shareholders.
at a lower price than what the stock is at. Now, naturally, when we look at the pressure on the stock, it does sort of create a pressure because of the fact that if they do exercise the warrants at 20 cents, and let's say the stock's at 40 cents, we know the company's buying back at 20 cents because they have the option to do that, right?
So not the company, the shareholders that hold the warrants are buying back, not the company.
Thank you. So the shareholders, that's a very good point. So the share, and even then when I was saying it, go back throughout this video, the shareholders that own the warrants. So not the company, but the shareholders that own the warrants, what ends up happening is that when they come back and buy it at 20 cents, okay, that naturally creates a pressure on the share price to come down because we're buying a whole bunch at 20 cents. Even if the stock is at 40 cents, there's a pressure for the stock to come back down to 20 cents because we're buying, I don't know, hundreds of thousands, millions at 20 cents.
Well, it was 5,625,000. If you look at the news release, that's what were exercised. So it's 5,600,000. Doesn't mean that everybody sold in the market. I'm just saying. But don't forget, some people could have sold their shares also. And so that was double in the amount of shares. So that's 13 million. If you look back since July, there was a good 18 to 20 million shares that were traded on the stock. So I wouldn't be surprised. It's people taking money off the table, people exercising, and the way I see it, you have a new base at around these levels. If the market would be better, I think the stock should be higher because they just came out with good news.
I saw that. Yep.
And there's more news to come, I'm sure, because now they have a war chest of cash and they could go into the field and do some exploration and get some field work done and probably some drilling happening. So no, this is very good for the company and in the long run for the shareholders.
Absolutely. And, I think that we answered the question of the person who is invested in Brunswick that wanted to understand it because they want to understand it and naturally be on my Telegram. I think this answered their question. So, in order to, just to recap, basically, if they're at 13 cents, they get to make the difference from wherever the share is at, buy back at 20 cents where the warrants were exercised. And naturally, it's going to create a pressure. It depends on how much money's coming in on both angles, of course. I mean, if people are buying like mad, let's say it's a great market and people are buying
then in a great market, the stock should probably would have held and maybe would
held
have been higher. Yeah,
or exactly, right? So it could have
exactly.
held or went higher, but because we're in a market that's being just bombarded from all angles, so what
Yeah.
ends up happening is that it creates,
A downward pressure. It's a
yeah,
downward pressure
and
because there's a lot of people that want to get those that extra money in their pocket.
absolutely, which it's great because look, the company got to put money inside their war chest, as you're saying, and at the same time, those that understand warrants, they sold, they saw it coming, and
I'm
they got
sure.
out,
I'm sure it's either look.
especially in a market like this. And now
It,
they're buying back. It doesn't mean that
yeah.
they left the company high and dry.
No, no, no,
Money
no,
came
no.
back in at
Yeah.
the lower levels that they deemed was a new support.
Yeah. Exactly. And don't forget
They played it right.
and brokers, when you have a win like that sometimes, and it's tough in the overall markets, well, you tell your clients probably, I'm not a broker, but brokers will say, like, take some money off the table. At least you don't have to pull out some more money out of your own pocket. And it's a very good strategy for everybody, for the company, for the
Yeah.
shareholders, and for brokers. They make so it's a good plan all around.
So for everybody out there, right, that didn't really know how warrants work or how to place your stuff, naturally, it doesn't always mean that it'll go down. It depends on the market. It depends on the visibility also of the stock of the company. There's a lot of other factors, but it could have stagnated. It could have stayed at the same level in a freaking market that's crazy. Like in 2020, it could still went up a little bit, but the pressure is naturally on it to come down to where the warrant level is or around that area, depending on how much money's in and everything. You got to research all that stuff. But we could see that exercising warrants does have a natural state of trying to bring it down. And you have to look at the whole global market and everything else in conjunction to that. So it's
Yeah.
good. It's a good strategy for people to know that do not know how warrants work. And I mean, look, if let's say somebody that now that knows how it works, probably doing their research, as we say here, right? Research, prepare, plan, and execute, might not have bought at 42, 44. They might have said,
Yeah, I would have probably waited to see where it would have triggered back, because look, the high of before went to 44 was 29 and a half. When it busted, it went to 44, which was naturally probably natural that it went higher than that.
yes,
Then it came back to its support, which showed that 29.30 is becoming a support, which is very interesting right now. So
yes, yeah,
anyways, I think that was a very good question. If anybody has other questions, don't be shy. We'll try to answer it, because it's not about talking about companies here. It's about to helping people invest, how to invest, and what to do when you invest with companies. So
absolutely.
I think this is an educational video, but I think hopefully we'll do more, because
Oh, yes.
I like answering questions, so people feel more comfortable when they invest in the market.
I completely agree with you. And of course, yes, we will do a whole bunch of videos like this on all different types of stuff. So people, please ask your questions. So Alain, I'm just going to end it there with you, because I think that we talked about it. We understand what warrants are. And I want to wish you a great day. So to everybody out there, always remember: research, prepare, plan, execute, stay strong. Alain, thank you so much.
Have a good day,
All right.
Albert.
The
Stay
bid.
strong, my friend.
All right, man. Ciao.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
This episode is brought to you by TriStar, West Island, and 360 Punch, where there's something for everyone. 2144 Trans Canada Route, Dorval, Quebec, H9P 2N4. Go to their website for more information. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Betweenplays Stock Market Strategies. Hit the like and the subscribe button. Head off into our description below if you'd like to know where all of our social media links are, and also the podcast, whether it be Apple or Spotify. We will be doing interviews with CEOs, with analysts, and it's not only on the stock market itself, but also on cryptocurrencies and blockchains. We will have guest speakers. We will be doing panels. You will be able to enjoy a lot of different content. Have a great day, and always remember: research, prepare, plan, execute. Stay strong.